Hey Sagittarians, this is Lunatic's Tarot with a reading for anyone who identifies with the Sag energy during July 2018. I said 2017 in the last video. I'm going to save all my thank yous and my info for you on free personal readings for afterwards at the end of the video and jump right into your messages. I did meditate with the deck beforehand and shuffle, and the messages that came out gave me, the cards that fell out gave me the impression that Sagittarians now are, the Sagittarius energy that I was connecting with has got some brilliant ideas, or an idea that they're excited about. The Ace of Swords came out. Something you want to communicate, and yet the Ace of Cups came out reversed. So I saw, you have a great idea or lots of great ideas, but you're not willing to share them right now, and it's not working for you. It's halting a process that's a transformation process. The Death card came out reversed as well. So you're halting a very necessary transformation for yourself. And it's also not working for you in the sense that it might mean you're not really working. It might leave you unpaid, or even feeling like a criminal of sorts. I don't know exactly how, but that's something that the Ace of Pentacles reverse says to me sometimes in relation to the other cards it's with. So yeah, you're just unwilling to share for some reason. I also get the feeling, and I'm having a lot of cold chills as I'm going through this, I also get the feeling that there might be a good reason for it that I can't know, since I, don't know you personally yet. I feel like, that, obviously there's always more to the story than just the little bit that we can tap into looking at the cards, but I feel like in this case, the more to the story would explain why. You feel like you can't share whatever your ideas are for some reason. You're afraid to, for some reason. But yeah, so maybe those messages will relate to what we see come out in the spread. Because like I said, it doesn't look like it's working for you though. So something has to shift. And the Death card reverse really felt like a transformation that, like I said, is necessary, that's being halted. Sometimes it can mean resurrection. It can mean, you don't want to make that transformation. You've decided, nope, I'm going to save that relationship and bring it back instead. It can. But I really got the feeling that this is a transformation that Sages need to go through right now, and I'm not saying that based on anything astrological. I'm not that far along in learning astrology yet, but no, don't do it. Oscar, do not. I'm sorry. He's just gonna start scratching. It's obnoxious. No. Sorry. I have to pay him some attention or else he will. What else did I just reveal to you? Oh, my little mess. Yeah, you can come on in here. Where were we? Yeah, I think, you have to find a way to go through the transformation, even if you don't want to or aren't going to share, ultimately, whatever these ideas are, whatever this communication and these ideas are that you have sort of bottled up, that you're holding back, that you're resisting and fearful of sharing with someone for some reason. I think you need to find a way to go through the transformation process. So share it with someone different, or share it online, or share it anonymously in a blog or something. Like you need the transformation, and yet I hear they have good reasons for. I more so feel it, but I'm getting that message. You've got good reasons. If I heard the whole story, I think I'd understand. But again, find another way then to let that idea take shape or meet someone else's ears, mind, something, so that the transformation can happen. So ask yourself, what transformation in me is being halted because I won't share this? How can I go through that process anyway? That's what I think needs to happen. 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, your reading just fell out. We're going to go with that. That's what we're going to use. The World card on the bottom of the deck. And okay. So we've got the Devil. Does it have to do with an addiction, Sagittarians? People, love is often the addiction that we're speaking of with the Devil card, the attachment that we can't seem to overcome. Sorry, music volume. Crossed with the Two of Cups. So, somehow this has to do with a codependency, maybe. You may be stuck in a codependency, addicted to someone, and then you've met someone you would rather be with, should be with. But it doesn't have to do with love, relationships, people at all. More so, I'm almost trying to steer it in that direction for some reason, but more so, maybe that's what you're doing. But more so, I feel like you've made a commitment to something, to a job, to a project, to seeing something through, but you're dealing with an addiction, whether it's a codependent relationship or an actual, addiction to a substance of sorts. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna have to reprimand the cat again. Got a spray bottle just for that. Let's see. So what's gonna clue me in about what this is? Well, your crowning thoughts. Heartbreak. Alright, I'm realizing I need to see the whole picture immediately. I like that. I like when readers just flip it over as they go, and I like doing my own readings like that sometimes. But I've formed a habit of looking at this whole picture. So, the Three of Swords, heartbreak, and your crowning thoughts. The Hanged Man, suspended in between things in the root of the situation. Indecision, the Two of Swords in reverse in your recent past. Emotional fulfillment, possibly shared fulfillment, a happy family. Maybe you change your mind about not sharing that thing in your future, in your near future. We've got the Six of Cups reversed in your inner world, so obsessing over your recent past. You've got the Star in your exterior world, which means someone, something, probably this new commitment that's coming in, if it's a romantic partner, is helping to heal you. Oh, or there is a very significant Aquarius in your outer world. Oh, I think the Star is also saying you're receiving gifts from spirit in your outer world, in your exterior world, possibly in the form of what is going on in your cosmos right now, and available information about what is going on in your cosmos. I'm sure since, if you found me here, that you're not a stranger to astrologers on YouTube, but definitely use those resources, because the star does often say to us, hope, gifts from spirit, yes, the faith, the secret of renovation, healing, all of that. But also it can say pay attention to the stars. Very, very matter-of-factly. I think it is saying pay attention to your outer world. Or your the outer space in your outer world. Judgment card is in your hopes and fears. This is, karma being cleared, being absolved, joyfully naked, clean in a sense, fresh in that way, and self-aware. I can feel how it all fits together with my messages from before, but I can't quite get the details. I feel, I kind of feel blocked out by you, Sag. Like, it's like you don't want to share, maybe, not even too much with me, with your readers, energetically. And you're afraid, and it's like you're afraid of being that self-aware. You're afraid of Judgment Day, of being karmically cleared for some reason. Because it's not showing up reverse, it's showing up in the upright. So, this would be your past mistakes, or just the work you've been doing, the life you've been living, how you've been conducting yourself, the way you're treating others, your interactions, all of that karma that's built up, and not just from this lifetime necessarily either, I don't mean that, but all of your karma that's been built up, this would be a clearing of that. I mean, yeah, you're met with punishment, if that's what it is, quote-unquote punishment. You're met with energy to match what you've put out. But normally when I see the Judgment card in the upright, that's a good thing. And even if it's a bad thing in the sense that, well, you have things to, own up to, still, you pay for it. We've all done it. We've all paid our karmic debts, and then our karma is cleared. It's still a good thing. But you're afraid of it. I mean, you do have the devil representing you. Oh, this could also mean that you are an addiction for someone else. So if you're not the one feeling like you're too dependent in a relationship, with the Two of Cups crossing you, it could mean that they're dependent on you, that you are an addiction for them. And in that case, in your crowning thoughts, I think you maybe know that you're going to break their heart. For others, it's the fact that there is an addiction, substance addiction, an addiction to your phone, an addiction to another person, sex in general, work, a workaholic, overeating, overspending. The addictions can range all the way from innocent and seemingly harmless to bizarre, and you'd have to catch it on Hoarders or something, all the way to the worst of the worst. You're addicted to cheating on someone or something of that nature, or a deadly substance or something. And it looks like but it's an addiction that's covering you, and yet you are committed to someone or something else, a work or relationship that in turn suffers because of your addiction. And I know that because you're not detaching from it. It's in the upright, and of course it would, And in that case, what you know when your ego is quiet is, again, still that you're going to break their heart. Also, the Three of Cups, or the Three of Swords, there could be that someone's going to break yours in July, that something that happens breaks your heart. And then in your outcome, the only card we didn't get to is the Eight of Swords. So that's a victim mentality. That's I want to phrase it like this. That's choosing to remain trapped by your own thoughts. You're blind to something, but you're doing it by the end of July, sometime in July. So we definitely want clarifiers on all these. Let's get a clarifier on that Eight of Swords for sure. And then with the World card in your outer world, in your bottom of the deck, so it's what's hidden from this spread, it's what we don't see here. I can't help but feel like well, you're blinding yourself, right? I just said, by the end of June, the outcome of this situation is that you're keeping yourself blind to something. And what goes unseen is the world. And if you're afraid to share a message, a type of work, a creative expression of your own with the rest of the world, then that's exactly whom you'll miss out on, is the rest of the world. And they'll miss out on you. You've got a lot going on here. It's just very complicated. Yeah, they're just, they're strange combos and clarifiers to me. You've got a lot going on, Sag. It's gonna be, I think, a roller coastery month. Okay, so it's just such a mix. There are some things that are good, but you don't want to let them be good. There are some things that are challenges, but they're mixed in with things that you're really enjoying, you know? And I mean, yeah, that's life. That's all of us all the time. But all within one message, with one spread, it just seems like the month is probably going to go like this. And depending on what your addiction is, you may have no one to blame for that besides yourself, right? It depends. And gosh, I don't mean to be hard on you. This is one of the tougher readings I've had to do. I'm not trying to... I have nothing against Sagittarians. I have a dear Sagittarian friends and a few who mean a lot to me. It's not that. I see what I see. You got the Star card reversed as the outcome of the situation. So if this is a significant Aquarius in your life in your outer world, they aren't sticking around by the end of the month. So there are many messages here, but one message that I'm picking up on so far is if you've got an intense addiction that you're juggling with an intense committed relationship with an Aquarius, if that's you, you already know you're headed for heartbreak because you're going to push them away with that addiction by the end of the month. And it looks like you're going to play the victim about it too. I can't help it. And I can't help it, Sag. It's just what I see. I also see indecision in your recent past. So, indecision is a decision. I don't mean to be mean with you. Oh my gosh, I have to hold myself back a little bit right now. I feel like being stern with you. Indecision is a decision. So it looks like in the recent past, you continued on with this addiction because you couldn't make a decision about giving it up. But that's just a fancy way of saying you decided not to give it up. It's just a long way around of deciding what to do. You still made the decision for yourself. You're in it because you decided not to give it up. And I feel like it needs to be said and said that way because of the victim mentality I see in the outcome. I'm catching this attitude of like, I can't help it when no one's going to help it and you but you. Not your partner, not your mom, no one. Like, you have to decide to give up any addiction. You have to decide. And if you refrain from deciding, then you are deciding not to give it up. That's it. Own that. Own that. Sit in that space with yourself and say, okay, I'm deciding not to give it up. I'm deciding to give up everything else that this addiction might take out of my life, but I'm not giving it up. And that's my choice. Just own it. Just sit with yourself and tell yourself that, and just say, let's look at the devil. Let's look at what it is. The Knight of Cups. Okay. Emotions versus feelings. An affair of the heart. As in a lover or a creative expression of yours. So yeah, I think it's a codependency. There's a codependency where you're both addicted to each other, or one of you is addicted to the other, and it's leading to heartbreak for one of you. And with the Page of Swords as I was thinking this was the Page of Pentacles when I was talking about strange combinations. But as the Page of Swords as your clarifier on the Three of Swords, it's going to be a difficult truth to speak up about, but somebody's going to speak up, take this addiction head on, and it's going to be heartbreaking. So let this be you speaking up and taking your addiction head on before it leads to heartbreak. That's why we do this, right? That's why we look at these things. That's why we attempt to divine a bit, so that we can avoid just that. Because otherwise, it's going to be them speaking up with the harsh message that though they love you, they can't deal with the side effects of your addiction, or the side effects of it being a codependent situation. And a lot of times with that, with a codependent relationship, I'm led to say, just give it some space. Because nobody wants to hear, that's it, you're not right for each other, it's done forever. It's an addiction. It's a condition. There's so much codependency, too. It's not just you, Sag, but... And then ask yourself about emotions versus feelings, right? We can have really strong emotions, emotional pulls toward people, but what are our rational feelings toward them? Once we take those emotions to our mind and our thoughts, and we sit with those feelings, and we have some experiences, some time with those people, then we can decide, flush it out. Do I feel the same way that I did when I had the immediate rush of emotions, or were those immediate emotions rushing in associated with hormones and circumstances, maybe the fact that you were coming out of another situation, etc. But it doesn't have to be a codependency. It can be an emotion, it can be an addiction that you just need to ask yourself, what are your emotions versus your feelings on it? Even if it's a terrible substance or food, we can have so many emotional cravings. So even if it's something like that, even if it's a substance or food or something like that you have an emotional attachment to, you need it because it's what brings you joy and makes you happy, Ask yourself how your real feelings about it differ. Maybe it brings you immediate gratification, but again, takes this person or other important relationships out of your life. Some Sages, and I'm sorry if I was too hard on you because there's so many messages here. There was definitely a message coming through for some Sag that needed to hear that way. But some of you are, some of you know you're in a codependent situation. And you're committed to it. But you're going to get yourself out of it. And you know you have got to speak up with this harsh truth and break this heart. Because you have been feeling stuck. Because you've been knowing, and you just recently couldn't make up your mind about it, because you're committed to them. They rely on you, they depend on you, and vice versa. I'm going to put this with the Ten of Cups because I was just getting ready to move on to this card. I think that's exactly what brings you emotional fulfillment in the near future. It's not whatever your addiction is, substance to person and anything in between, it is detaching from that thing that can bring you emotional fulfillment in the near future. And the Justice card, as a clarification, says precise and impartial truth cuts away the untrue. Again, karma being balanced. You've got justice and the judgment. So much energy that says your karma is being balanced this month in July 2018, Sagittarians. And it's hand in hand with some healing and or an Aquarius. But do pay attention to your astrological life. If you don't know your birth chart, what a great month to find out what it is. The Five of Wands. So that's disagreements, maybe disagreements rooted in childhood. They are playing, though, right? They're kind of playing. But then some ego drama comes up. They end up reaching an impasse. Again, oftentimes because of a beliefs that we've held since we were young. I don't know, maybe there's some ego drama surrounding that Aquarian. In any case, in your with me telling you to listen to the cosmos, to tune in to what's going on with you astrologically, if you're resisting that for some reason, or you end up not listening to that or taking time for that, making time for that, with the Star card in reverse as the clarification on the Eight of Swords, it makes me think that's what ends up resulting in your victim mentality. Like, you could do some self-development work through astrology. You could allow that to help you see yourself and your situation even more clearly. Then you can dig deep into your own chart, get into the details, etc. And you lacking interest in that might result in this victim mentality. That's one possibility. Like I said, this spread's so complicated and there's so many messages. Let's get... Honestly, I really just feel like this Five of Wands belongs right here. And I think you were in your inner world, you are still going back and going over these fights that you've had with this person. And that's another reason why you have to speak up. When your ego is quiet, you know you have to speak up about this truth and go ahead and break this heart, because this commitment is an addiction, an attachment, a codependency, and or you need time away from it because you have your own other addiction if you do, possibly. But there's a lot of ego drama around you, and you're keeping yourself trapped in your thoughts by continuing to go back and go over the fights that you've had with this person. You're committed to it. You're both committed to it. And that's the message from the beginning as well. You've got this idea that you want to communicate this thing, but you're unwilling to share. And the reason why is because you're going to break the heart of somebody that you've been committed to for a long time, I think. But you feel stuck. Now, at the same time, the Hangman says that this person is serene. They appear martyred, but they're chilling, they're fine, they're suspended in between. I hope you're not suspended in between two people. And that could be what the indecision is. At least if you are suspended in between two people, I hope they at least know. You're at least being honest with them both about that. And if you're someone who's answering those questions no, if you're or yes and then no, if you're like, yeah, I'm suspended in between two people, but no, they don't know. I really don't know what else to say to you. Like, I don't know what else to say to you. Don't do that to people. Don't treat them like that. Break up with one of them. Do the right thing. Like, the reason I say that is because there's nowhere to move forward if you're going to keep doing that. If you're going to say, well, tell me how I can make everything okay whilst juggling these two people and not telling them. There is no way. That's the next step, is you correct doing that wrong thing to those people. You can't move forward from there. And then no wonder you feel stuck, and then no wonder there's indecision. Again, that is a message just for some Sagittarians, not all. I don't think I've had a spread yet. I'm kind of excited. I don't think I've had a spread yet, Sagittarians, where there were so many messages that I couldn't get through one clearly. But yeah, that is the second time that I've seen that, noticed that. So I think that that's a possibility for some Sagittarians. That you're already in something committed, and then that's what the indecision is. Not all, though. Not all. Wasn't the first message. It was not the strongest message. It's just here with us. Let's get a clarification on the Judgment card. But yeah, you just keep going over this ego drama, these disagreements, these fights regarding your addiction with the person who is your addiction, and they're things from your recent past. So if you've been committed to someone for a long time and now you have to move away from them, it can very well be that, it's because you've started fighting, you've started bickering, you've gotten to that point where it's like an impasse. You've realized what things aren't the same about you, and there are things that aren't going to work. You can't raise kids together with those differences. You can't have a marriage with those differences. You're far enough in that you're thinking of those things, and these fights are starting, and you're realizing that there's no way I'm signing on for this for, another year or two or a lifetime. And then on the star, you've got the King of Wands. So yeah, I definitely still keep seeing you with an Aquarius. Again, I see, look at your chart, Sag. This can represent you, obviously, Sagittarius, the King of Wands, an entrepreneur, a bold, fearless man who is very social and is very charming and attracts a lot of attention, and he can call on the elements. He's really close to nature. You've got an Aquarian. You've got an Aquarian partner, or what I see most strongly still is take a look at your chart. Like I just said, this energy, this fire king, can call on the elements. And I think you need to look at all the elements in your chart. What else are you besides that Fire King? And also, you know, be that bold and fearless energy that you have been, or that you certainly can be. Both in speaking up with this truth that you need to deliver to someone, at least one someone, you know, and in moving forward from there. Definitely in making this decision that's left reversed in the recent past. I mean, when I see that reverse, it's like, make up your mind. I said I wanted Okay, so if this situation is bringing you heartbreak, it's breaking your heart to break their heart, or they're breaking your heart, the healing begins with the judgment that you're afraid of. Okay, the healing begins with, again, being honest, letting your truth shine, letting both, or just this one party, however many are involved, know what, you know, where you're at, what's going on, how you feel, if you feel stuck. Maybe that's what it is. The relationship has so many familiarities in it, so many comfortabilities. Maybe your relationship is right in terms of money, and you know, you have the same friends and they help you with the bills, and you enjoy the same recreational activities, and all your stuff and finances are tangled up together and all that. You know, that can make it really difficult to separate. And it can make it really easy to feel, it can make it really easy for us to feel like we're comfortable when we're actually stuck. You can't move forward, you can't have a new love, you can't build the relationship or life that you ultimately want if you're not with someone you want to stay with. But it's comfortable enough. But it's comfortable enough, just comfortable enough to keep you stuck. Like a lot of addictions, right? But if you consider what your feelings are, your thought out feelings about it, as opposed to just the emotional response of, oh, I can't break their heart like that, or I can't give up this, and this, I just can't. If you think about your feelings, the longer term effects, you know, it might not be so comfortable in the long run when you picture all the things that you can't have, but you do have emotional fulfillment in your near future. Precise and impartial truth cuts away the untrue. And it's not that this person or you necessarily were untrue. No, not necessarily. But it's just that you need to be honest about the fact that you're feeling stuck, and that you see clearly that this is a codependency if it's a relationship we're talking about, which it mostly has been, right? And it might be, if it's an Aquarius who's leaving you, not necessarily like leaving you, but if it's an Aquarius who's exiting your world soon as a result of all this, it could be them that's playing the victim mentality here in your outcome. Like, you have to dismiss them, not to sound cold, but you have to be honest with them and about how you're feeling about this, and then maybe they play the victim. Which, you know, we all do that for different reasons at different times, I suppose. You know, they just weren't prepared for it, maybe, can't stomach it, don't want to be without you. I can definitely see the message of it being them. Whatever this addiction is, whether it's a person or whatever it is, it's like you're missing out on your opportunity to, with the World card is what's unseen. It's like you're missing out on your opportunity to share with the world, to see the world, to feel truly accomplished in yourself, achieve an accomplishment worth celebrating, right? Because you're so tied up with this addiction, possibly, probably codependency, a relationship, because you're having trouble separating emotions from feelings. And I think that's the way I say it, and it's definitely a school of thought. It's not necessarily the school of thought, but I subscribe to it. I like it. That, emotions are, when we talk about emotions, we're referring to that surge of overwhelming energy that you feel upon immediately meeting someone, being really attracted to them, having a release of hormones, etc., as opposed to feelings being, again, more thought out, taking those feelings and taking them to your mind, and then giving it time there. And then once you've had time to bond with the person and time to think it over, then there are feelings that very well may be just as strong as and match the emotions, right? All right, real quick. This is too long, and I am really late. Real quick, we're going to get an advice card from me. Dreams of Gaia Tarot for you. For Sagittarians for July 2018. What advice regarding this confusing, complicated spread and situation? Again, it's your choice. It's your choice. It's your choice to stay. It's your choice to go. It's your choice to clear your karma. It's your choice to stay stuck, to stay comfortable, to deprive yourself of sharing whatever work you could be focusing on instead with the rest of the world. It's your choice to deprive the world of whatever talent and creativity you might offer to it. That's your choice. You're being offered something. Time alone, gaining your independence, clearing your karma, clearing your karma and being honest. Owning up if you have stepped out on someone. And you're choosing to stare at everything that you can't have, the fights that you've had with this person. And again, maybe you've been with them for a long time. I know that can be so hard, but you're choosing to stare at all the things that the two of you can't be and can't have, or even if it's not a person, at all you feel deprived of, instead of at what you're being offered. And that's your choice. That is your choice, Sag. And I see this emotional fulfillment in your near future. Okay, so this is what needs said. Because I keep coming back to this, because I see the emotional fulfillment in your future, because the Ten of Cups is popping up upright, it showed up upright. I think you do make the choice you make the decision that you left unmade in the recent past. And it's them that it has the victim mentality in the future. That's mainly what I see is you're separating from someone. You do make that choice. It brings you emotional fulfillment, but it leaves them playing the victim because they're not happy with the decision. If your addiction is not a person, then you choose to remain in the addiction throughout the month of July, and in the near future, you do experience emotional fulfillment. And that's where I was talking about the roller coaster ride. You do experience emotional fulfillment, but then by the end of the month, you're needing to heal. You can't rush this healing that you're a little afraid of. and possibly you're playing the victim, maybe because someone left you as a result of your addiction. Certainly because there have been consequences as a result of your addiction. Don't do it. Don't start. It's going to be bad, Oscar. I do not want you to do that right now. Sorry. Oh, Sag, I'm sorry. So it was such a chaotic reading between the cat and I had other complications with the music and the spread being so or the reading being so, having so many messages and being so like I said, up and down. It definitely one of the most chaotic readings I've done, and I think that's how it's going to feel for you this month. Emotion versus intellect, just to reiterate. Yeah, I think that is how it's going to feel for you this month. But what needs said, what I was going to say is, it's your choice. It's your choice to get out of this addiction, person or otherwise. That is your right, and no one else can choose it for you. And if someone else, if it is a relationship, and someone else is playing the victim and being hurt and making you feel bad about making that choice, guess what? That's their choice. Just like it's Oscar's choice to do that at the door right now, and he's going to get punished for it. Oh, God, I cannot control this Siamese. He thinks the spray bottle is a game anyway. It's not really a punishment. So yeah, so that's their choice. Just like you have your choice to leave, even if it's a long relationship, a long committed relationship, just like you have your choice to do what's right for you, you have to keep in mind that if they play a victim to try to keep you, to try to make you feel like, no, you're not allowed to leave or something like that, that's their choice. That's not on you. You can't choose how they react either. Okay? And I think we'll leave it at that, Sag. Thank you. Thank you so much for all of the likes, comments, shares, subscribes, the requests for personal readings and the donations and the emails and messages that I've gotten. It is all supporting the channel. It is all truly appreciated. And if you would like a personal reading from me, please check out the description below or the about on my channel. Either way, I have information on free readings and paid readings for you, and I'll get the rest of July's readings out just as soon as I can. I hope you make very wise choices and don't feel that you need to take responsibility for others' choices throughout the rest of July. I hope to have a mid-month up for you soon as well. I do want to say, please check out Queen Cup Tarot. That's another reader that you can ask for free readings. She's the one who inspired the shift of focus in my free readings, and I'm so happy I'm offering those now. So yeah, check out my description for my options. Check out her page. She's a great reader. And I did want to mention to you, as I have to everyone, that I should be able to have, I'm confident I'll be able to have the 12 signs up every month from now on. You can count on me for that, Sagittarius. I'm sorry that for spring it was just some people got June readings and some people got May. But yeah, please do continue to like, share, comment, subscribe. If you feel called to do so, hit that bell so you can get notifications if you want to know when I post. And otherwise, I love you all, Sagittarius. I really do. And I can't wait to do another reading for you.